Hello everybody. Mega Goal 2, 11 for meaning and function, pages 78 and 79. Now, one thing before I start the lesson, I'd like to say that the answer key to the given exercises plus the summary to this grammar lesson I'm gonna post on my Instagram page, Ms. Zahra FA. So if you would like, you can follow me on Instagram. بالنسبة لملخص جرامر وكذلك الأجوبة لبعض الأسئلة راح أنزلها على صفحتي على الانستغرام من زهرة FA، فإذا حابين بإمكانكم متابعتي. So right now let's take a look at the objectives. Number 1, present perfect tense versus simple past. Number 2, time expressions ago, for, and since. Number 3, expressing ability, permission, and requests. And number 4, if with the past perfect and would be able or would have been able. Okay, so right now please move on to pages 78 and 79 and please follow up with me as I explain this lesson. So just a reminder, the title of this unit, which is unit number 5, is If It Hadn't Happened, and the lesson is 11 for meaning and function. So right now we will be looking at present perfect tense versus simple past. الآن راح نشوف المضارع التام في مقارنة بينه وبين الماضي. Okay, present perfect and simple past. Now the first thing we will be looking at is when to use the present perfect and when to use the simple past. متى نستخدم the present perfect ومتى نستخدم the simple past. طبعا نستخدم the present perfect أول حاجة to talk about an action that happened in the past when the exact time isn't known or important. نستخدم المضارع التام للكلام عن حدث حصل في الماضي لكن الوقت يا إما يكون غير معلوم أو غير مهم. Okay, while the past tense we use it when the exact time is given. لكن نستخدم الماضي البسيط لما يكون الوقت معلوم. طبعا الوقت متى في الماضي، مثلا yesterday, last week, last month وهكذا. Okay, so is this right now clear to you? Present perfect, an action happened in the past, but the exact time is either unknown or unimportant. While the past perfect, okay, while the past simple, we use it when the exact time is given. Now let's take a look at how to formulate sentences in the present perfect and in the past tense. الآن خلينا نشوف كيف نكون جمل في ال present perfect وجمل في الماضي البسيط. Okay, so regarding the present perfect, المضارع التام, the sentence is formulated this way: has or have plus the past participle. إما has أو have مع التصريف الثالث للفعل. الsimple past التصريف الثاني للفعل سواء كان regular or irregular، يعني منتظم أو غير منتظم. Now I'm gonna look at how to formulate sentences in the present perfect and in the simple past in details. Now I have said previously, simple past, I'm gonna write it over here. Okay, so first we will be looking at present perfect. Okay, so as I said previously, has or have plus the past participle. I can say for example the past participle اللي هو التصريف الثالث للفعل. I have eaten my lunch. So here the action, which is have eaten, happened in the past, حصل في الماضي, but the exact time isn't known or isn't important. Okay, طبعا يتكون من has أو have والتصريف الثالث للفعل. Now if I want to have the same sentence but now I wanna make this sentence يعني I'm gonna formulate the sentence in the simple past، راح تكون طبعا I ate my lunch 2 hours ago. Now I think this is clear to you that here هنا يكون present perfect while here simple past. Here the exact time, هنا the exact time isn't known or isn't important, وهنا the exact time is given. Okay, now you have a clear idea about it. Now in terms of the formation or how to formulate a sentence, تتكون من has or have، بناء طبعا has or have بناء على السبجكت، والتصريف الثالث الفعل، لكن هنا التصريف الثاني للفعل. Now before we move on, I'm gonna explain to you when to use has and when to use have. طبعا انتوا already عارفين has للمفرد و have للجمع. Okay, has عادة تجي مع okay she or he or it. Okay, while have عادة تجي مع I, we, you and they. اوكي، بالنسبة للتصريف الثاني للفعل أنا سبق وذكرت لكم إنه ممكن يكون regular or irregular. regular يتبع قاعدة معينة which is adding ed. مثلا ممكن يكون هنا طبعا مثلا أعطيكم مثل used. اوكي، طبعا هنا already e ففقط أضيف d but still the verb is regular. Now irregular مثلا eat. Okay, ate. Okay, طبعا هنا present perfect يتكون من has or have plus the past participle or verb 3 which is التصريف الثالث للفعل. مثلا هنا eat, ate, eaten، فالتصريف الثالث للفعل يكون eaten in this case. Alright, now I'm gonna make two sentences, one in the present perfect and the other one in the simple past, and I'm gonna ask you to make up a question. Okay, so here let's say she has eaten her lunch. Now this sentence is in the present perfect, and if I want to make yes or no question راح أبدأ بالauxiliary verb فبيكون has she eaten her lunch question mark, and the answer can be either yes or no. Yes she has or no she hasn't. Okay, now she has eaten her lunch. Now if I have the same sentence right now نفس الجملة but in the simple past it will be she ate her lunch 2 hours ago. Okay, now if I want to make a yes or no question, this time I'm gonna use the auxiliary verb did، الفعل المساعد did، وبتكون she. طبعا did إذا دخلت على الجملة أو دخلت على أو كونت سؤال أو استخدمناها لتكوين سؤال يرجع الفعل لأصله. okay، لأنه ما يصلح عندي زمنين من نفس الفعل. Did she eat her lunch? Okay, you can say 2 hours ago. It's alright. Alright. Now, if for example you want to ask about when, you can say when. This is a yes or no question. When, then the auxiliary verb did she eat يرجع الفعل لأصله her lunch طبعا، وما أضمن الإجابة في سؤالي. فالقاعدة تقول طبعا بشكل عام تكوين السؤال WH word okay plus the helping verb plus the subject plus the main verb. طبعا in this case okay طبعا in this case هنا طبعا ال helping verb بما انه في الماضي فهنا استخدم did اذا كان في الفعل الاساسي مثل eat او speak. okay، وطبعا اذا استخدمنا did عارفين ان الفعل يرجع لاصله. So this is regarding present perfect tense versus simple past. Now let's move on to the next thing which is time expression. التعبيرات الزمنية. طبعا we have here ago, for and since. طبعا as I have said previously, as for the simple past بالنسبة للماضي البسيط نستخدم طبعا الماضي البسيط انتم عارفين نستخدمه للحديث عن شيء نحن نعرف متى حصل exactly في الماضي، بالضبط في الماضي. So when the exact time is given, for example, yesterday, 2 days ago, last week, last month, last year وهكذا. Okay. طبعا بالنسبة للtime expression اللي تستخدم مع present perfect فإحنا إما نستخدم for أو since. إما نستخدم ماذا؟ for and since. طبعا شو الفرق بينهم؟ Okay, so as for we use it to indicate the duration. للحديث عن المدة نستخدم for to indicate the duration. For example, for 2 weeks, for a year, for a long time. Duration المدة. As for since, to indicate the duration of the action. Okay, or to indicate to indicate when the action began. Okay, now since to indicate when. Okay, so I have to write it. Okay, sorry, I have missed it. To indicate when the duration of the action begin. Okay, now this is clear to you. متى بدأ مدة الحدث. Okay, مثلا since last June, since yesterday. Okay, I'm gonna give you examples in order to clear يعني عشان أوضح لكم this point. As we have said previously, the simple past, we use it when we talk about an action that happened in the past and the exact time is given. Okay, طبعا مثل what? As I have said previously, yesterday, 2 weeks ago, 2 months ago. Now let's take a look at these examples. So in 1908, already you know إن هذه في الماضي, a small asteroid exploded over Siberia. Okay, so here you know that this is يعني احنا نتكلم, we use it because we are talking about something that happened in the past and we know the exact time. We moved to Muscat 3 years ago, so that's why ليش استخدمنا simple past, لأن the exact time is given. She didn't call her mother last night. Okay, I think that this is clear to you. I can say as well مثل ما كتبت لكم مثلا تقول, ممكن تقول I for example called my mom 2 hours ago. Alright, so here I use the time expression 2 hours ago because I'm talking about an action that happened in the past, and of course يعني the time as well is given because I know when it happened. Alright, now let's take a look at the present perfect. مثل ما وضحت لكم, the present perfect has or have والتصريف الثالث للفعل past participle. Okay, طبعا we use with the past perfect either for للحديث عن duration المدة, also I can use as well since. Okay, لما أبغى أتكلم عن متى بدأ الشيء, منذ بداية الشيء. Now he has worked as a scientist for many years. Okay, طبعا we have lived in Muscat since May, منذ بداية الشيء. We haven't used our car for a long time. Now I have an example for you. For example, I can say I have eaten my lunch. Now if I want to use since, لو أبغى أستخدم since, I can say since 2 o'clock. Okay, منذ بداية الشيء. Now you can say, you can rewrite the same sentence but in a different way, saying I have eaten my lunch for. Okay, now this one probably is not acceptable to use for 2 hours. I can say, okay, I have another example for you. You can say I have studied for a long, I have studied English, for example. Okay, I have studied English. Okay, you can say I have studied English for a long time ago. All right. So I hope this is clear right now that that we use the time expression for instance with the present perfect, and right now I have explained to you the difference between for instance. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is how to express ability, also permission and request. طبعا before we move on, before I start explaining to you how to express ability, permission and requests, I'd like to explain to you the meaning of each one of them in Arabic. الability معناها القدرة بالنسبة للpermission اللي هو الإذن، والrequest الطلب طبعا بطريقة مهذبة. As for ability, you can use either can or could, can in the present and could in the past, in order to express ability. As for permission, or if you want to ask someone for permission, you can either use may or can. Now, as for request, you can use could or can. Now, let's take a look at each one of them individually. As I have said previously, ability اللي هي القدرة استخدم معها إما can في ال present أو could في ال past. Okay, في الماضي. Now, can the robot do my homework for me? Okay, this is asking for ability. No, it can't. You can do it yourself. Now, this one is in the present. هذه في ال present في الحاضر. But could people travel long distance before? Okay, could people here travel long distance before the airplane was invented? Okay, this is asking about ability, but of course with could in the past. Yes, they could. I haven't finished writing this sentence, so I'm gonna continue. يعني راح أكمل كتابتها. Yes, okay, they traveled by ship. طبعا هم كانوا يسافرون الناس بواسطة السفن في الماضي. اوكي، قبل طبعا اختراع الطائرات، وقبل الطائرات كانوا يسافرون باستخدام الحيوانات مثل الكاملز والهورسز. Now, as for permission, we can either use may or can. Permission اللي هو طلب الإذن. Okay, so you can say, may I leave early today? Okay, yes you may. No, you may not. Can I have another soda? Yes, you can. No, you cannot. طبعا usually you express or usually you ask for permission تطلب بالإذن خصوصا في الكلاس. Okay, so you can say, may I go to the washroom please? Okay, may I speak to my friend please? And وهكذا and so. Now, as for request اللي هو الطلب, okay, you can either use could or can. For example, could you fill in this form please? Can you help me? Could you open the window? طبعا this is request عادة يكون بطريقة مؤدبة. Now, yes, of course, sure, not now, I'm busy, certainly. Okay, so here, certainly. Okay, and the last one is sorry, I can't. Okay, طبعا يعني you feel free to refuse للرفض, but also when you refuse you have to be polite. Now let's move on to the next thing, which is expressing. Okay, which is okay. Now the last thing we will be talking about is, I haven't prepared this in advance, no worries, so I'm gonna write it right now. Now if with the past perfect, okay, and comma, would be able, or if past perfect, comma, would have been able. Now we use if with the past perfect and be able, or if plus the past perfect would have been able to talk about missed opportunities للحديث عن الفرص الضائعة. Okay, now I'm gonna formulate sentences using this pattern. بوضح لكم how to use it, how يعني من خلال الجملة راح تفهمون شو اللي أقصد. But before we start doing this, I'd like to explain to you what do we mean by the past perfect. Now the past perfect اللي هو الماضي التام ويتكون عادة من not has ماضي، طبعا ماضي had والتصريف الثالث للفعل ال past participle. Alright, for example, had eaten, had seen التصريف الثالث للفعل. Now let's make up sentences, okay, to talk about missed opportunities using if conditional sentence. Okay, for example, if I past perfect يتكون من had والتصريف الثالث للفعل. If I had studied. Okay, طبعا when you start with the if clause you have to have comma in between. Now you can say I either would, okay, I would be able to pass the exam. Now من معنى الجملة هنا استخدمت if والpast perfect وهنا would be able to. من معنى الجملة الآن طبعا تتكلم عن الفرص الضائعة. Okay, طبعا here you're talking about present ability. Okay, present ability. Now this one is talking about present ability. Okay, so you have to know exactly the difference between هذا. This one is talking about present ability, but this one is talking about past ability. طبعا في المضارع وفي الماضي. Okay, I have another example. For example, if you can say if I had eaten my lunch, okay, comma, I would have been able, okay, for example, to sleep well, or to focus, or to concentrate in class. Alright? Because sometimes أحيانا لما يكون واحد جوعان when someone is hungry, sometimes you cannot sleep. Okay, so here talking about past ability. اللي حصل إنه هي أو مثلا الشخص هذا ما أكل غداء فبالتالي لم يستطع يعني لو إنه لكن عفوا إنه لم يأكل غداء فلم يستطع النوم بصورة جيدة. فهنا talking about past ability. طبعا usually talking about missed opportunity يعني فرص ضائعة or regret. Okay, this is how it is introduced in your book. هذه الطريقة طبعا اللي تم تقديمها في كتبكم. بس طبعا also you can use this pattern or you can use if conditional sentences with if with the past perfect to talk about also regret للحديث عن الندم. Now that's it. I hope that you have enjoyed our lesson. Don't forget as usual to subscribe, share this video with your friends and hit the like button. Till next time.